Hello, listener. This is Kanem FM 97.7 Unimate Radio. We bring you this exciting, heartwarming program called Poetry Recitals. Poetry Recitals is a program designed for writers, lovers of poetry, and spoken word. The program presents works of art, bringing to limelight the magic of poems, appreciating the beauty of oral literature, promoting works of young and great poets. I am your presenter, Rukayat Idris. Together with me, my co-presenters,
Hudia Jacob,
Hannah Caleb,
and our guest,
Mustafa Ibrahim Bagudu, M.I Bagudu.
So today we have a peculiar piece titled Gwoza. Gwoza is a spoken word poetry written by Mustafa Ibrahim Bagudu, and I'm so delighted that the talent is here with us in the studio. Once again, you're welcome, Mustafa.
Thank you so much.
So to start with, I am certain that our listeners could like to know about you, a little about yourself.
Well, my name is Mustafa Ibrahim Bagudu, as I just said. M.I Bagudu, popularly known as. I'm a creative writer, a poet, a performing artist, a digital journalist, a YouTuber, and an activist, a real comrade.
Wow.
So I'm from Gwoza local government, but born and raised in Bama local government. I had my primary living certificate from Bama, where I went through this Central Primary School and went to Gwoza for my JSS. Come back to Maiduguri here, had my SSC due to the insurgency, and now I'm a diploma holder. I studied law from Mohammed Gwani College of Legal and Islamic Studies. That's all.
Wow, that is really beautiful.
Thank you.
It is our pleasure to host you on this program. So, can you tell us about your journey so far into poetry, how you get yourself?
Well, yes, in life there's reason for everything we do. But for my poetry, I think poetry is a gift from Almighty Allah, and sometimes do learn poetry. But for me, I think poetry is a gift because I cannot only write in English language, but Hausa, Kanuri, and even other languages.
Wow.
Maybe if I can get someone who can help me through. So in this path, I think poetry is not something that I learn. Poetry is a gift from Almighty Allah.
So poetry finds you.
Poetry found me. I didn't find poetry.
That's really beautiful.
So, but because when I started writing a poetry, I even write more than 10 poetry, not knowing that it is poetry.
Wow.
They are poetry I don't know. Except when I found, until I found my mentor, Mustafa Lawan Mustafa, Sayyid Isa Jauro, Shetima, Abubakar Shetima, who is known as Abu Shed. They are all excellent poets. They are the people who see what I don't see in me and say, yeah, M.I Bagudu, you are now a poet. I was like, oh, M.I Bagudu is a poet. How did I become a poet when you can't be a poet until you write a poetry? So they started discussing about the write-up I had in the past, that this is poetry and this is poetry.
Yeah.
So after knowing this, I think this is not the right time for me to at least step back, is to continue pushing it. So along the line, I met so many excellent poets who at least motivate me, inspired me to continue. And this is why I realized that, yes, there is poetry in me.
That is really, really beautiful for
Thank
you
you.
to have something without even recognizing that you have the thing in you. So, my co-presenters, is there anything that you would like to know about Mustafa?
I'm just curious though, having this God-given talent or gift of writing poetry, do you think that maybe as you go on in life, there are certain things challenges or problems that may come up and you might maybe at some point consider dropping poetry?
Poetry. Yes, there are challenges that I encountered in life regarding my poetry. But normally I'm kind of self-motivational because I don't wait for people to motivate me before I go on. When I face challenge, I turned my challenge into motivation.
Oh, that's it.
I'm kind of person who love to face challenges in life because this is the only thing that lets me know that yes, there's something worth in what I am doing. So when I face challenges, I do normally overcome my challenges by turning the challenge into motivation. And there are some kind of challenges that I face. Number one is getting a mentor sometimes people may be busy and you will like to have the piece released or published in times, and so they may be even busy sometimes, so they can't like go through your work and edit and send it back to you. And this is one of the biggest challenge I face. And number two, when it comes to like getting audience who will like appreciate what you do. And in life, it is written at the forehead of everyone that feeling of this self important.
Yes.
So when I do something, you please tell me, yeah, this is beautiful. M.I Bagudu, you are doing good. Sometimes I lack this.
Okay.
Though, as I said, I turn my challenges into motivation. I tell myself, yes, this is what I do and it's worth it. It's excellence. M.I Bagudu, you are doing good, and I go this way. And number two is when I started working on my poetry album that I think I may be releasing the poetry album anything next month, inshallah.
We should be anticipating.
Thank you so much. So, and it's titled Welcome to Gwoza, and specifically written about the culture of Gwoza, the norms, and how we treat people when it comes to kindness. Because I perform some of the pieces in the album at different occasions where students of Gwoza organized, where our elders organized, and they do appreciate. In fact, there are some of the sponsors I got for this poetry album are from Gwoza. Those people who watch my performance and they think it's worth releasing it in a bigger form.
Okay, so I'm just about to ask you about having the opportunity for you to perform, and you have just mentioned a few.
Yes.
So is there any like stage performance that you found as the key, as the ones that you feel are at the top?
Yes, the one that opened doors for me.
Yes.
Yes, I think this performance is the poem I performed at Nugo's inauguration, National Union of Gwoza Student.
Okay.
National Union of Gwoza Students. I perform a poem titled When You Visit Gwoza. And let me recite at least 2 or 3 lines of the poem. The poem goes like this, though it's in Gwoza.
Okay.
When you visit Gwoza, we'll welcome you with daron kindirmu, offer you some stuffs harder da dan akwai su a dakin mu. Fill your mouth with guli as it aroma pervaded your nose on your arrival. Yeah, en Gwoza ba sa rowa. You don't have to ask for food kaman bawa.
Wow,
we cook rice, yam, masara har da dawa. Kai mu fa ko a wajen girki muna sauyawa. Cause we farm at a risk sai dai a ta ebawa.
That is
so
really
this
at this point, I think I'm definitely visiting Gwoza.
Inshallah.
So before we proceed,
yes,
I think it would be good if we can go on a short break. Listener, let's go on a short break. We will be right back. Welcome back, listener. If you're just tuning in, this is Poetry Recital coming to you from Kanem FM 97.7 Unimed Radio, and we are excited to have Mustafa Ibrahim Bagudu with us in the studio. He has been painting pages with inspirational pieces of poetry, which he have mentioned certain things that I found very inspiring for someone to be turning his challenges into motivation. This is a key thing that I pick about the things that he have been speaking about. So, Mustafa, among many of your poems, you have chosen a Gwoza to share with us and the listeners out there. So what makes the piece to be so dear to you?
Well, I'm kind of person who loves where I come from, because I wrote a poem titled When You Mock Gwoza. It's a poem that I wrote long ago when I attended a football match of Kanuri people. I'm sorry, my Kanuri people. I attended the football where the opponent of the Kanuri defeated the Kanuri people. Though the opponent are not from Gwoza, they are from this area of Biu, I think it's from your area. So there was a guy behind the field that said, is this because when they defeated the Kanuri people, and there is one of the best flyer among the people that defeated the Kanuri people, and the guy was saying that Shari Tara Gwoza yai, the Kanuri.
Okay,
So yes, he said, is this guy from Gwoza? Because the guy looks very black in complexion, and like the guy's structure is a structure that you people may not love him, the gender you belong to. Because he loves someone who is very handsome. Okay, so when he said this, I was like, okay, being an indigenous of Gwoza local government means an insult or what? What does that mean? And as the conversation goes on, at the end, he started insulting those that come from Gwoza local government. So on that very day, on that very time, I wrote the poem When You Mock Gwoza. That when you mock Gwoza, though I did not memorize the poem, but the poem talks about when you mock Gwoza, this is the time I will tell you I love Gwoza, despite the fact that you insult where I come from. So I wrote the poem When You Mock Gwoza. Though before writing this, I wrote a poem titled Keche, and specifically for the Kanuri lady. Yes, the Kanuri lady I want to date. So I say, okay, if I can write a poem to Kanuri, a language that normally look down upon where I belong to, why can't I write to my local government?
Okay.
So knowing how our ladies are beautiful. Wow. They are black in complexion. They are very kind. They know how to treat a husband.
Okay.
If you belong to my gender, I would advise you to marry a lady from Gwoza local government, and you will never regret.
Wow.
So I wrote this poem on that very day, Gwoza, and though it's a creative work, so it's not real actually. I just it's an imaginary work, so I wrote the poem. So if you give me an opportunity to recite the poem, I think I'm good to go.
At the cost of the discussion, I think our listeners will also love to hear you recite the poem. But Godia, is there any question, something you'd like to find out about him that maybe before we
first of all, before he starts, I would like to commend him.
Thank you so much.
This passion in him that actually draws my attention, and the fact that you have passion for the place you are coming from, for your own culture, it's actually a nice thing.
Thank you.
And I would like to say well done for that.
Thank you so much.
And also, you talked about those challenges that actually motivated you.
Yes.
It's actually a nice thing, like for us to turn our challenge into something that will actually motivate us in doing great things. And I also want to commend you on that. But there's not any question. Maybe during the course of the discussion, question may arise.
No problem.
So I am sure that our listeners can't wait to have you recite the poem. So may we have the honor of you to read the poem Gwoza for us?
So the poem is entitled Gwoza, and it's in Gwoza. It's a combination of two languages, Hausa and English. So it goes this way. Yau da labarin ta na tashi, listin zan baku shi babu fashi. So nace ku saurara, I have a story, not the popular story, my metaphors that's being exaggeration. No, wannan din ta Gwoza ce, the beautiful damsel da ta mun kwace. Ko dai na baku labarin how I met her ne. It was on a trip da ban shirya ba, next to my seat was a girl ban iske ba, yet assalamu alaiki to her ban kasa ba. Asking for her name na shirya, sai cash a call from a friend na amsa. Hello, ya ne kawu ya furta, kalofa ina hanya zan kira ka. Cause ta yi shiru kaman da matsala. I battle to know but taki, sai na ce I'm your brother addini, telling me won't increase the egg amma ina wuni. I am Mustapha M.I Bagudu ki kira ni. I write poetry, MC nake ko da aiki zaki bani. Do ban yi nisa ba, I'm just starting. Sai ta murmushi, sannan ka dan sara zance. My heart beat and bewildered, na rikice da jin muryarta. Thoughtin take kamar ta sarewa. You know poet nake. I didn't give up, sai da na wake. San her what she wants atake. Oh, yar bakata mai tarbiya, whose absence makes me kamar mara lafiya. I travel out to Gwoza cikin awa daya just to meet her and say hi masoyiya. Yar Gwoza fa gwana ce a soyayya, delicious dishes abincin gargajiya, ga kuma shayin dakuwa a duk safiya. Kai, she is the best, don ta iya.
Wow.
Wow.
It's really beautiful to hear you listen to someone eulogize something that he loves so passionate.
Yes.
It will just hit different. But before we move forward to discuss or talk about the piece,
Yes.
you know, definitely music usually is to be an important ingredient of every presentation. So let's reserve our comments until after a short break. Listeners, let's go on a short break. We will be right back. Welcome back, and if you are just joining us, this is Poetry Recitals, coming to you from the studios of Kanem FM 97.7 Unimet Radio. Like I always used to say, we are not just reciting poems here, we are appreciating creative works, touching hearts, and lots more. Let's start commenting. Godia, you go first.
Okay. First of all, I would like to say this is a beautiful piece.
Thank you.
And also, the poem is not about the romanticness of the poem, because this is actually a romantic poem. And also, the combination of the two languages is actually a nice thing.
Thank you.
And looking at the lines, I love them.
Thank you.
And I would like to say thank you for this good opportunity for us to discuss this poem. It's really awesome.
Thank you so much, Godia.
Hannah?
For me, I would really want to commend M.I. I think he's putting Gwoza on the map.
Thank you.
With poetry.
Thank you.
Like this poem, it just creates this image. I don't know if it's just me. Even someone who has not met anybody from Gwoza before will fall in love with a girl from Gwoza just from this poem.
Wow.
It's really, really beautiful.
So
Thank
not
you,
just
Annie.
about that, you know, a creative writer will always have this fulfillment whenever he talk about something that he wrote, that people get to picture the entire thing. So when he is reciting the poem, I'm seeing him like somewhere in the car, like acting. How you get to meet people on journeys. So this is really, really beautiful, and I know that I usually used to remind our listeners why we usually bring in this program for Saturdays, because people are there at their homes, at their comforts, not going to work, and then they listen to us recite and speak to talented individuals. So what inspired you, like your motivation to write the piece? You have mentioned something related to it earlier.
Yes.
That it was just about you having a discussion, person was speaking or looking down at Gwoza. So you think that it's important that you do. But is there any, we know that poets always used to have a muse. Is there any, maybe a lady that you like?
From
something,
Gwoza?
an inspiration, love or something?
Yes, my first date was a girl from
Okay.
Uber, not from Gwoza local government. And I love the girl so much. If you can see at the bottom of every of my piece, you will see Mustima. And Mustima is a combination of my name and her name.
Wow. That's just beautiful. we should reserve this conversation for later, maybe after the program.
Sure, I'll seriously ask this question. I must
Let's
ask.
not go deep into it.
So,
what message directly do you want to pass by penning such a piece?
To our listeners, the message I have for them is don't consider what people say it about something that you have never ever known in your life, because there's this people normalize this thing that if you marry a girl from Babur side, they are kind of very stingy. They are kind of very stingy. Sometimes they can't even feed you, like, though normally we are the one who feeds the family, but at least to serve you a dish filled with everything you want, it's a very big challenge for those people from this side. And I normally challenge this and I encourage this, because the girl I'm dating right now is a Babur.
Okay, that's
And since from the day I met her to date, I have never seen what people said.
Wow.
But though before this, what have conquered my mind.
So the direct message here, or what he wants to clarify for people, is that it's just not good for people to like stigmatize people or stereotype is just something that we always discuss.
Very, very good.
Yes.
So and coming back to this poem that I wrote, where the main message lies is that I said Erbakata my terbiya, whose absence makes me kamar mara lafiya here and there, and she is black. Yes, she is black, but sometimes you may meet a girl from Gwoza who is not black. and people will say, I tie bleaching.
So all that
misconception,
yes,
yes.
just
Let
so
them please discard this misconception.
Yes.
The fact that I say Gwoza bakache mai tarbiya, and when you see me with a girl that is not black, please don't say she's not from Gwoza or she bleach.
Okay. So who exactly are your target audience with the piece?
This piece?
Yes.
The whole world.
Wow.
The whole world.
All right.
Because I have a belief that Gwoza will be heard everywhere, inshallah, one day.
Yeah, we hope so.
Through my voice, through other people's voice, inshallah.
Actually, I see you doing that already.
it's
Gwoza
a
will be
beautiful
heard.
thing. So on behalf of the people who have missed out on your first recitation,
Yes.
will you do us an honor again to recite the poem?
Why not? Why not? I will. Once again, it's titled Gwoza. Yau da labarin ta na tashi, listin zan baku shi babu fashi. So nace ku saurara, I have a story. Not the popular story, my metaphors that's being exaggeration. No, wannan ɗin ta Gwoza ce, the beautiful damsel da ta yi mun kwace. Ko dai na baku labarin how I met her ne. It was on a trip da ban shirya ba. Next to my seat was a girl ban iske ba. Yet assalamu alaikum to her ban kasa ba. Asking for her name na shirya, say cash a call from unknown na friend. Say cash a call from a friend na amsa. Hello, ya ne kawu ya furta. Kalofa ina hanya zan kira ka. Cause ta yi shiru kamar dai da matsala. I battle to know but taki sai na ce I'm your brother addini. Telling me won't increase the egg amma ina wuni. I am Mustapha M.I Bagudu ki kira ni. I write poetry, MC nake ko da aiki zaki bani. Do ban yi nisa ba, I am just starting. Sai ta yi murmushi, sannan kaɗan tsara zance. My heart beat and bewildered, na rikice da jin muryarta. Sautin take kamar ta sarewa. You know poet nake, I didn't give up sai da na wake. Sang her what she wants atake. Oh, yar bakata mai tarbiya, whose absence makes me kamar mara lafiya. I travel out to Gwoza cikin awa ɗaya, just to meet her and say hi, masoyiya. Yar Gwoza fa gwana ce a soyayya, delicious dishes abincin gargajiya, ga kuma shayin dakuwa a duk safiya. Kai, she is the best, don ta iya.
Wow.
The emphasis on the K. She's the best.
So I've seen that time has started waving already. So before we round up, I would like each and every one of us to give a last comment on the piece.
Like I said earlier, it's a really beautiful work that puts Gwoza on the map.
Thank
It's basically kind of describes a Gwoza lady. So well done, Emma. You really tried on this.
Thank you so much, honey.
So I'm good, yeah.
Just to say that you have a beautiful piece,
Thank you.
and then you're a very good writer,
Thank you.
and I love this poem so much.
Thank you.
The love you have for your culture is actually amazing, because there are times you find out that many poets doesn't used to write about their culture or where they are coming from, but it's actually amazing for you to write this poem praising a lady from Gwoza. Is actually amazing. And also you said something that I said I'm coming back to that for a question. You said at the end of your poem you normally have
Ink of Mustima. Yes.
So and you said, is she from Gwoza actually?
No, she's Kanuri.
Okay, but it's just that since from then you keep on using it in your poem.
Yes, even after the breakfast, I'm still using it.
Wow.
Yes, because I chop, I know.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So over to you,
Yes.
Mustafa. Is there something that you would like to say before we round up?
Yes, what I usually said at the end of every opportunity I had with people is that when you want to do something, the first question you need to ask yourself, why should I have to do this? Is it worth it? If it is, why? When you can get an answer to this question, why, how, and how can I start, all these questions, I think you are good to go. But when you find that you can't find an answer to this, for example, maybe you want to start writing a poetry and you ask yourself, why do I need to start writing a poetry? Why? And when you can't find an answer to this question, I think this is not the best thing for you to do. Go for another thing. Though I'm not encouraging people to start writing poetry, because in everything we do, there's a reason why we do it.
Yes.
So and there's direction.
There's direction.
Yes, so it's really amazing for me today specifically to listen to someone, because the piece we are discussing is something related to love, but I can see how the writer is not only trying to relate the entire thing to only love. There are a lot of meaning and phases to the piece, because at the cost of his discussion there are certain things I give a major, like very important values to. And I encourage that wherever you found yourself, you continue to tell people these key things, because about this one thing that he said of you converting your challenges into motivation, I found this thing very, very important and relevant in every aspect of life.
Thank you.
So and also the issue of the stereotype, we know that we have been dealing with that.
Good.
Wherever we found ourselves, there is no place you can be as an individual across this globe that you will not face that issue of stereotype. So it's important that we continue to tell people that they shouldn't be defining people just based on their perceived thought towards the people. These are just societal expectation and everything. In the end, all of these things will not count. So it's important for us to always note this. So thank you so much, our guest, Mustafa Ibrahim Bagudu.
You're welcome.
It's really an honor for us to host you in this program.
Thank you.
Listener, with that, we have come to the end of the program, Poetry Recitals. Make it a date with us to join us next week, Saturday, same time at exactly 11:30 a.m. Same station, Kanem FM 97.7 Unimed Radio. On behalf of my guest,
Mustafa Ibrahim Bagudu,
my
M.I Bagudu,
Gwoza
co-presenter,
Jacob,
Anna
and
Caleb.
I, Rukayat Idris, saying bye for now.